don't do that.
You missed the meeting.
It only goes to prove that my presence is never necessary for anything.
Don't say that.
Listen, just one phrase that I want eliminated from anybody's vocabulary is, they can do that as a friend.
Yeah, I don't know where that came from.
Because I don't know if that was a misunderstanding or could be misrepresentation.
I think it was a misunderstanding. I hope it was,
Reporters or, no, I think it was trustees that say that they can't understand it, they're entitled to it. That flies in the face of everything we talked about for the better part of the year. Now, I got two different resolutions for Beechwood.
Oh, take this one. This is the most recent.
All right, let's get going. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the April 14, 2022 meeting of the West Hampton Beach Planning Board. I want to wish everybody a happy upcoming holiday, as is applicable to themselves and their families. And I think, for the most part, we're not going to be doing a lot of work tonight, because it looks like almost everything has been taken care of, but for a few things. So let's
We had a request if we could please call the application for Country Point at West Hampton Beach, 44 and 60 Depot Road first, as they have a conflict.
That would be fine. Number 10, Country Point.
Yep, and Country Point at West Hampton Beach, 44 and 60 Depot Road. This is for the final subdivision for the 22 single-family lots. We have a resolution.
And we do. Do I have a,
Waive the
be
reading.
normal?
I make a motion.
Is it
You
here?
want us to read it?
No.
Thank you.
I make a motion, we accept the resolution as written.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
And I want to say, this was really a pleasure to work with you guys. It was really a very well-thought-out application, and you're very cooperative. We're grateful.
This is your heart. You can take this and we'll email. Great.
No offense.
This stage in my career now.
So since Dick is here, we'll go to that. The number one, Marios Nicolaides, 36 Hazelwood Avenue. That's the subdivision. You just have to go up to the podium there.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Where are we with this? Like, my brain's fogged up on this.
I really have nothing to say. I mean, I don't, we've gone through the zoning board, we've gone here, I submitted, unless you have a problem with the covenant. I submitted a covenant a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, I told you last time, until we have a final decision, I'm not looking at the covenants, because until we have a final decision, I'm not going to review your covenant. That's all.
So what are we waiting, just a planning commission? No? That's what you have here?
I think we had held it over just to kind of get reacquainted with it,
Right.
and give the neighbors an opportunity to speak, give Dick an opportunity to say anything he wanted to about, and also have everybody relook at the plans and make sure they're up to snuff, don't need any further changes.
Did everybody get a chance to review this?
I know
Did
we,
anybody get a chance to review?
I know we discussed at one point, I think one of the sticking points, and I know that was a concern of the neighbors, was if this was gonna be moving forward, that there be screening. And I do recall that there was some limitation as to the extent to which we could.
I apologize, I was going to look at the zoning board decision to remind myself what their condition was, but I thought there was something in the variance that, I'm just doing this by memory, so I may be wrong, but I thought there was something in the variance about screening or something like that. Do you remember?
That has to do with the neighbor to the south, okay? There was discussion in the planning, and the zoning board relative to that. You have another neighbor here who has a piece of property at the end on the north, and he's asking for trees to be planted.
But that wasn't part of the
That
zoning
was
board?
not part of anything was discussed, and the zoning board didn't do anything with it. The zoning board, I believe, I haven't looked at it myself, required that the screening, the existing vegetation on the south remain, and I put that in the covenant. So I just don't know what these, I know the neighbor to the south has concern. The neighbor to the north, I don't think there's any basis for providing trees along his property line.
Did you take some out there? Wasn't there a conversation about what had been removed?
I don't remember that.
We'll get to it, just one at a time. So, all right, you want to come up and...
Evening, gents. Your service. Coles 6 Gouldy, flat 34 Hazelwood. So maybe we start with the trees on the north. I think Dick's got a bit of selective memory. Isaiah provided you a package, in fact, Mr. Haefley. These are the trees that your applicant cut down. There are trees along the back of the lot line. Here they are.
Address to the board, okay? I don't want to get into a back and forth.
And I'm happy again to pass them along. We've got plenty of them here.
I did give them in,
Yeah, they're in the...
they're all in the
There's
record.
a package of photos today, clear and see the trees. They were there.
I'm not aware of,
Well, this was something, this isn't that long ago. I mean, this is what, 2 meetings ago?
Yes.
You're going to need this one.
Yeah.
And I know it was raised at some point previous to that.
You got enough there? I've got a couple more here.
One more?
So you've got our letter to the planning board that was
Right.
submitted in 2019. Does everybody have a package?
You got one more?
Send one more.
Yeah, I've got one more, yeah. So there's our letter on the front, which is our representation. We'll put it through that. If you look at the pictures, you can see here, these were the trees that were there. They were mature trees. The first picture you can see. The second one shows you what the height of them were. They were around 20 feet tall. They were the level of the house. And you can see there that on the third picture, there are the trees that were cut down. And you see on the fourth picture, there is the cleared line. So the applicant did cut down those trees along those along that lot line. And those trees used to extend, you can see that sand area there, that was a volleyball court. They used to extend beyond there, I'm told. We cleaned up that volleyball court because it also wasn't very good to take a look at. So the trees were there, and we would like them back.
This picture,
Yeah.
where is it on the survey?
Yeah, that's...
I'll show you that. So, gents, if you look here to the top left-hand side, this is along the lot line here.
So this is the location of the
Yeah, the
trees?
trees were all along here, yes.
On this side?
Yes.
So, to the...
So I can show you where the trees were here.
Right here.
They were all
So, to
along
the
there.
north of lot, what would be lot 3?
Yeah,
So they were along here.
they're all along that line there, yeah, joining. Yeah, I think it says Rene Gars on it.
Yes.
The land there, but it was the owner prior to.
And did they extend the entire, what would,
They-
from lot 3 on this, like from end to end, or did it go over?
They
to
did,
what
right.
we
So
want?
the house that I have was a previously troubled house. It was one of the houses that Gourley constructed, okay, and somebody built a beach volleyball court behind the house, and they took the trees down to construct the beach volleyball court behind there.
So that's your property where that beach volleyball court is?
It's the applicant's property.
Oh, okay. Okay, got it.
So yeah, I mean, obviously, the lot is very overgrown at the moment. There's a lot of big trees there, so there is screening. But as soon as the applicant clears the sites, there's going to be nothing there at all. There's just a stockade fence. I mean, what we can't understand is when you build these kind of houses, Mr. Haefley, today, I mean, someone's going to want to put a 2-story, 2,500 plus square foot with amenities. They're going to want screening. They're going to want screening, right? This is a very dense development. We've gone from a 2 to a 3. We've gone up to about 9,020 of building envelope, principal building envelopes, about 81% higher. We've used a paper road to subsume in. We're not going to discuss the rights and wrongs of that tonight, but the usual construction along the cul-de-sacs is that you have two lots either side of a paper road that's 40 feet wide, okay? And now, essentially, the road is being put as a driveway over the lots. You just about get 15,000 square foot lots out of it, and you create a lot more density. The density is about 80% higher. There's going to be a lot of noise. I mean, Marianne here will tell you, when the trees were cut down from my property, Marianne, you will immediately hear more noise from my property. And that, when you put two more large houses behind here, which is what you're going to get, there's going to be a lot of noise. I don't understand why the applicants really push back against this, because I think even the owners of these huge houses, they're going to want the same. I mean, it's going to be very, very tight. There's going to be a lot of vehicle traffic down there. I don't know how people are going to turn and behave. The road is going to be allowed. There's going to be a lot of activity down in this place. There's going to be amenities. And all we want is some screening, and we think it's just, I want the screening that was there before. Marianne wants the screening all the way down the side of her house. And the Rosantes, unfortunately, Gail is sick. She can't make it tonight. Gail wants the screening down the side there as well, because she's going to have two houses alongside her. And so we actually think it's reasonable. It's not an as-of-rights development. He was given a variance. He's got 3 on 2. I know there's a flag lot code now in the village, but actually the flags are still too small for the code, so he would width-wise. He would still need a variance for that. We're not against the development, but we think this is appropriate mitigation. I mean, this is for the good of the neighbourhood.
It's a hard argument to walk away from, Dick. I mean, he's
What
not...
do you mean walk away from? The thing when he's talking about the volleyball court is either he or his predecessor put it on, not my client. It was there when my client bought the property. They were using...
You're developing the property, Dick.
Let me finish and you can say what you want. He was using it. He's complaining about the density. He has a lot that doesn't even meet the code requirement. He has a large house that is too close to the side yard. He has a swimming pool. What we're doing is what we are entitled to do. We have 3 lots. All 3 of those lots meet the code requirement for 15,000 square feet. We got the variances for the...
You weren't allowed to do it without the variance.
Excuse me?
You weren't allowed to do without the variance.
Yeah, but the variances weren't for the flag portion or the main portion of the lot. They were because for the poles coming in. Subsequent to that, now the village has a provision in effect where you can create a flag lot. They have to be 15 feet, or 10 feet. I agree, we needed the variance. I'm not disputing we didn't. We got the variance. The fact is, we got the variance. All of what he's talking about here today went before the Board of Appeals. As to the neighbor to the south, I acknowledge that the discussion was to maintain, at least to maintain the existing vegetation along the southerly wall. I don't dispute that. There was never any approval or any major discussion by the zoning board with reference to this gentleman's house on the north. He's showing you things that maybe some of the trees were cut down. I don't know. There was no prohibition about cutting down trees. We're talking about her property on the south. That's the only thing where there was any discussion with reference to maintaining a vegetation.
Could I address something that...
Please.
That sand pit was made by a previous owner. He did not use that. He covered, Mr. Hazel, please, I live there, I know what happens on this property.
No, we're not talking to each other. We're talking
not
to
gonna
us,
argue.
and that's it.
Due respect. I live on this property, I lived there my whole life. So imagine how much change I have seen. I'm 60 years old, 75 years old, 55 years, okay? I see what my neighbors do. I knew when the sand pit went in, those people dropped an 80-foot tree. It almost reached my property line, okay? He never used that sand pit. He actually covered it up and planted grass and was watering it. He got rid of it because it was unsightly and it was a menace.
Well, To your point, I would fully expect, and this is just because we've all been watching it happen and we all know what happens, I would fully expect that when these properties are finally subdivided and they're built on, somebody's gonna be paying a good chunk of money for that property to build a nice house, and they're gonna want screening. I mean, they'll put it up themselves. If they can afford the house, they're gonna put up the screening. I mean, I would be stunned if they didn't. So
I don't know that we can rely on that.
I don't think we can rely on it. I think it's just
And
informative.
I don't think it's an
informative.
unreasonable request to add some.
Well, this is where the conversation, or there was some discussion, and I know Tony remembers it, I thought Tony brought it up, it was something about, I think there was something because because they were getting, they were gonna get the flag, we could do something with the flags.
Well, I just looked through the file, so
Okay.
well, Brad was nice enough to go downstairs and get both the zoning board files and the full planning board file, and, couple of things. One, the zoning board decision's lapsed by 3 years. So, wait, you gotta go back to them. It expired in 2019. That's why.
I requested that the zoning board decision be extended from the time it went into effect. I sent a monthly letter to the
We do
zoning
have
board.
letters.
We do?
Yeah, you probably have to put,
I don't see anything.
yeah, no, we do, I know for a fact.
Did anything extend beyond 2019? Because
I
that's
don't
the
know off
last
the top of my
extension
head,
that...
But I can email them all.
Okay. Two, the way the zoning board decision was written, and this is what I remembered, was that the zoning board conditioned the variances on, I'll read it into the record. Variances are conditioned on the applicant completing the subdivision review process and ensuring in the final plans that A, the common driveway is of such width and design as to enable complete emergency and fire apparatus access, and B, the landscape screening is provided between the common driveway and southern lot line of proposed Lot 3. The details of the common driveway and landscape screening are to be determined in the discretion of the planning board, and, if necessary to allow sufficient area for emergency access and screening, the common driveway may be located on any portion of lots 1, 2, and 3 as the planning board deems appropriate. As far as I can see, we've never gotten a plan, a common driveway plan, a landscaping plan that would explain what it is that the applicant is proposing. But it's gotta be, unless you're telling me there is a plan out there, you've gotta come back with a plan.
What is the plan that you have before you? It shows a common driveway. Yeah, but it's a line, it's not a construction.
No, you know what, a common driveway plan has details, has drainage, has landscaping, whatever gets reviewed by the village engineer. I don't see something that would be equivalent to that would allow this board to confirm that it meets fire apparatus standards and has sufficient landscape screening as determined necessary by the zoning board. That's a different issue than what these guys are raising, and that was just whatever the zoning board raises was a condition of their approval. You guys can decide whether this is appropriate or not. I'm not saying it is or isn't, but at a minimum, they have to have a decision that complies with the zoning board's decision, which means show us a common driveway detail and a landscaping plan that meets the basic requirements of that, and then this board can review it.
I think at this point, we need to see one. I mean, I don't think it's an option anymore.
I don't think so either. It's
not an
a
option.
requirement of the zoning board, and I don't know what this board could approve as far as a landscape plan if you don't have a landscape plan in front of you.
Aside from that, when we approved the subdivision behind the True Value, that required zoning board approval. They had to, okay. Now, as part of our conditioning of that plan, did we impose, because I don't remember off the top of my head, I probably did, did we impose extensive landscaping around the entire edge?
Dude, you're on Oak Street.
Oh, yeah,
You
there
were
was,
standing on your head on
there
that
was a
one.
substantial,
But only on the part of Oak Street, I'm talking, because,
But we did have a plan.
no, it was absolutely a landscape plan.
well, that's what I'm saying, but I just don't recall.
On two parts,
And if
on the
we-
Oak Street side and behind the True Value.
Right, so if we've done that in the past in subdivisions, you know,
Yeah, we're gonna do it now.
I don't think it's necessarily unexpected or certainly unreasonable for us to impose some sort of conditions along those lines here. Especially because of, you know, there are only so many subdivisions that can be done. We're sort of maxing out here. So we can't say, oh, it's a subdivision, nobody's gonna be affected by it, there's another empty lot next door. So I think I think we have to be a little bit more concerned about the effect on neighbors when we allow these subdivisions.
I'd like to see a site plan. That's my opinion.
Well, is it a full-blown site plan, or is it just a landscaping, common driveway?
The only part that's required, I think, by what the zoning board did, would be a common driveway and landscaping plan. That relates to the southern part of the property, along the common driveway. And my recollection, why there was a part of that decision I remember that said it could be on any part of lots 1, 2, or 3. One of the questions was, maybe the planning board would want it to meander a little bit as opposed to being a simple straight line. The zoning board didn't want to dictate to you how the common driveway should lay out, just that there should be a common driveway plan with a landscaping screening provided to the south. So beyond that, it's in your discretion as far as the subdivision conditions go, but that was a condition of the variance. And actually, the common driveway details is something that we've imposed. We did on the Onex subdivision. They did a common driveway rather than a road, and it was absolutely required that a fully engineered common driveway plan be provided up to the point of the individual property driveway. So to the extent that it's a common driveway, it's effectively treated the same way as a road would be, where it has to be engineered to the point of being fire apparatus, has to qualify for a fire apparatus road. Whatever that means. Brad knows what that means as an idea.
Fire truck around the driveway, top of the driveway. But you can use proper driveway.
Sure. It could be hammer, I think that's what we did in the Onet one, where it was a hammerhead that,
I think we've done a few of those on Hazelwood and maybe even Rogers.
but at this point, it's just, there's a basic subdivision plan, there's no common driveway plan. And so that's something that has to be developed. And then at the same time, you can keep talking about landscaping, whether or not you want to impose additional landscape requirements. That's beyond what the zoning board required, but it's still within your discretion.
Well, I think once we see a plan, we can analyze it and decide if we need more.
Well, I mean, Rock, I understand what you're saying, but that the plan we're gonna get presumably is just gonna address the southern property line. It's not gonna, for the common driveway, because that's all the ZBA decision really spoke about. So we would need to give the applicant some sense and direction of what do we wanna do on the other side. I'm all ears. I know what Ralph's saying.
Well, in order to make a decision, I mean, we have to be looking at the document. I mean, something on it,
You're right.
right?
No, you're right, but the applicant is not offering anything other, and I don't even know if you're offering to comply with the zoning board condition.
Well, then, that's...
But beyond the zoning board, the common driveway portion, the applicant is not offering anything. The neighbors are requesting more screening. You have to either tell the applicant you're inclined to want to see more screening, or you're not, and that will give the applicant
Well,
guidance.
And, I mean, realistically, you have the zoning board made a decision what they want to see. All right, now it seems like
What they want
there's...
us to see.
Yeah, but they were only focused, because of the variance, they were only focused on the landscape screening along the common driveway to the south.
So they said nothing about the north.
Nothing about the
And
north.
the applicant presents nothing to,
And that really wasn't
Well,
before, it wasn't before the zoning board. So, to be fair, that's why they were not concerned with anything else. but it is part of your jurisdiction, so you have to decide whether the subdivision creates a need for additional screening or not.
I think I'd like to see something. That's my opinion. You
I
know,
would like
at
to see
least-
more screening too.
I'd
I'd
like
like
to
you to be
see
a
what
little
you- what do you-
cooperative with the neighbors.
What are you planning to plant? What are you going to plant and where?
You haven't said anything. I've been here for the planning board for several minutes. I acknowledge I have to do it. If you want me to do the screening and the plan for the driveway, not just the zoning board. This is not the first meeting I've come to this board, and this is the first time I went to the health department to get the, it's the first time I'm hearing this. As
Right.
far
Well,
as
well, I'm glad you're hearing it
the
then.
zoning, the stuff on the south, I agree. I haven't heard anything from you.
It's coming to the table.
Screening on the.
Well, but you may not have heard from us, but it has been a topic of discussion.
Excuse
You may not have heard from us on it, but it has been something that's been raised.
Fine,
Well,
yeah.
the applicant's also been
You haven't said
dormant
anything.
for 2 or 3 years.
Well, here you are, and here we're saying
Fair.
something.
Yeah.
What are you saying?
We're saying that we want to see some
Well, I'm
significant
gonna say-
screening,
well-
and we want to see you adhere to what the zoning board asked you to
I
do.
have no problems with the zoning board. I'll do the plan for the zoning board and the screening.
Okay.
Okay.
We would like to see additional screening. Are you hearing
Why
that?
don't you poll the board, because
I was
so far there's only
I haven't
two-
heard, I haven't heard from Michael, and I haven't heard from
There's
Larry.
there's 2 board members who have said that, not 3 or more, so I think you need to poll the board.
Well, I think we should, at least throw a bone to the next door neighbors, they're here. I mean, throwing up some bushes would just help the whole situation out there,
Yeah, I'd like to see landscape, some sort of landscape
Just
plan for
something,
the north
you know.
side. Yeah, something. So we see what's it gonna look like.
Are you with us?
I don't think it's unreasonable.
I've been with you for many, many, many years. I'm trying to listen to find out what you want.
Okay.
It's time for you to come out and say what you want.
Dick, I think what you're hearing is that you want, on the north side, we want to see something. I'm not saying you, listen, we'd all love to have replaced what was there, but.
We're not
let's
expecting
be
you to have
realistic.
20
We're not gonna make, we're not gonna make them plant 20
Barriers
trees. Ain't gonna happen.
I mean, I'm not saying it'll be 20 foot day one. I mean, these things grow.
Well, I would want to see something planted that over time would do its best to replicate somewhat what was there.
I mean, you see it around in other developments, right? They put in like a 6 foot green giant, right? When these trees are cleared, the sun will be good. Those things will grow like wildfire. 3-4 years, you'll have something that's 15, 16 foot high. They're 3 foot wide.
And ultimately, I think whoever decides to buy these and develop them would find them to be a benefit.
I mean, that's what everybody uses around the village. Every time you see a new development go up, you see either green giants or privet go up around it. That's all we're asking for.
I'm gonna make a suggestion, because you should talk to your applicant and come up with something
I will speak
to
I understand-
propose,
I
not,
understand what I have to do. I'm trying to get something out of the board with reference to the north side. That's what I'm.
That's what we
trying to
gave
get to the
you.
board.
We want to
I don't want to
see,
go spending the money to do something if I haven't gotten any indication.
we want to see some screening along the north side.
Why don't you just write it on there?
I think we want to see the entire, I want to see what we're doing on the site, not just the north side.
Yeah, it depends.
I mean, I want to see,
And I don't know what.
He doesn't have new owners though.
It means
Yeah.
we don't have a
We don't have
vision
any.
of what you were supposed to be doing for the ZBA, let alone the north side.
but guys, I just want to point, it's not in a site plan, a commercial site plan. Right. You require a full landscape plan. That's not normally required in a subdivision. What you do require in a subdivision is if there's specific needs for screening that are generated by the subdivision, that's what's triggered. So the example is along the south side of the common driveway, that was considered a specific need by the zoning board because of the variances that they were imposing. In the Oak Street, Humphrey Street subdivision, there was specific screening required by the True Value Store, but in part it was because there was a commercial use next to a residential use, and so it was deemed to be important to require screening over there too.
Those are
And
available.
and there was screening toward, on the Oak Street side, that was considered an important requirement. So you don't ask for an entire landscape plan for the whole subdivision, but if you have a specific thing to ask the applicant to consider, that's what you have to explain to them.
I
I think
think
that's what
it's-
he's looking for, is a little guidance on what exactly do you consider necessary as a result of the subdivision? Not, we want to see a landscape plan for all three
No, I
lots.
think we just need to be able to put in, I mean, it's 360 feet deep, am I reading this right?
That's right.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Wow, that's a lot.
But since these properties aren't sold to private individuals, why would we have any business saying there has to be any screening put up there at all? Wouldn't that be the new property owner, whoever buys these lots, isn't that their prerogative to put in
Your
screening?
only business would be if you determine that as a mitigation for the effects of the subdivision, it's appropriate to require as a condition landscape screening. That's it.
Can we put that as because again, I don't know what we do with Avador, like, was that the responsibility of the person who purchased the lot and developed it to put the screening up, or was that?
Oh, it was considered a subdivision improvement. So when there's a landscape requirement, it's considered a subdivision improvement. In Avador's case, they bonded it rather than doing the work prior to map signing. I don't know what the applicant's going to want to do, whether they'll do the common driveway, do the landscaping there or not. I assume there'll be some drainage associated with the common driveway too. But either way, it's considered a subdivision improvement.
Right, I mean, to require them to put it up now, you know, kind of stupid.
No, it's a subdivision improvement, so they can bond it. They won't have the obligation to put it up today. And they could even pass that off on their subsequent purchasers if they want to. But it would be a condition prior to issuance of building permits and things like that.
Now, just the ZBA's decision only applies to the southerly portion as it goes along lots 1 and 2. Does it apply to lot 3 too, on the south side?
Well, the common driveway ends.
At lot 3?
Yeah, once you hit the,
Border of 2 and 3.
yes.
Yes, so
Because lot
there's,
3 actually runs all the way down to the road.
right, so there's
Part of
no, the ZBA decision doesn't deal with the southerly portion of what would be lot 3.
Correct. Because that's not a common driveway.
Or the, I guess what would be the western boundary, eastern boundary of the entire property, the back of lot 3, if you will. So essentially, all of lot 3 is not addressed by that, and only the northerly portions of lot 1 and 2. I mean, the southerly portions of lot 1 and 2 are addressed by that.
Correct.
So we would be looking at, theoretically, imposing a condition that would apply to the entire perimeter of lot 3 and the north of lot 1 and the north of lot 2.
That's up to you.
I'm just saying, that's what the ZBA decision
That's what the
doesn't
ZBA
touch.
doesn't, correct.
So
Their
we-
decision does not
that's-
address anything beyond the
And they were
southern-
vague enough that driveway didn't even have to be where it's currently
Or it could
illustrated.
be serpentine or whatever.
Well, that's why
don't know how
there was,
else to do
I
it.
remember the discussion, and what came up at the zoning board meeting was, once you have to put landscape screening in, you might have to adjust the driveway, and you might want the driveway to be, not a perfectly straight line. They didn't want to impose that kind of planning requirement or review on you. They gave you the discretion to decide what's appropriate. They just wanted to see the screening as a condition of the variance.
But regardless of what it is, it has to comply with the safety factor, being able to get
And the
fire
safety
and
factor.
emergency vehicles
Correct.
in and out of there.
This plan shows the southerly 10 feet is not being used for the access to and from the lines, okay? And that's the area for putting in screening. It is the middle 10 feet that would be the access for lots 2 and 3. And the other, there's 5 feet on lot 1 for purposes of the drainage. That's the plan that went to the zoning board. This is the same plan went to the zoning board that we had and was submitted to this board in the past. So there's a 10-foot easement access that lots 2 and 3 will use to get to the wood edge. The southerly 10 feet of the pole on lot 3 is not being used for access. That was the area that was being used for the screening.
Well, so come up with the plan, that's all. I mean, your engineer should be able to come up with a common driveway plan that serves your needs, serves the fire apparatus needs, leaves the room and provides landscape screening. There's plenty of room to do it. And, but the board has nothing to review.
I think instead of a full-blown site plan, just a planting plan that addresses these issues.
No, usually it's a common
no,
driveway
yeah.
plan. It's a, we would typically see a common driveway detail, all right? There's an engineered way to do that, and there should be landscaping shown associated with it, at least along the southern part of the common driveway. Like, Ron would review it for purposes of drainage, Kyle would review it for purposes of the landscaping that's provided, and you guys would review it, obviously,
We would have something to look at.
right. But it still leaves open the question that he wants to hear, which is what are you telling him as far as anything beyond
The driveway.
the driveway?
So basically, guys, what we're talking about is here, here, and the entire north side. So we're talking the entire north, the back end, and the southerly side of Lot 3. What do we do with that?
Lot 1 is there. That's been in existence for longer than anybody on this board that's been here. So why do I have to screen a lot that's had a house on it for 60 years?
But because you
Two
told
and
the
three,
planning
two and
board you were
three,
gonna
two and three
do
are
it.
vacant lots. Two and three are
Because
vacant
that's what the ZBA said,
lots.
that's not what they
this
said.
isn't- Nothing about the north side
of the
landscaping.
north side, okay.
The chairman just indicated the landscaping for the entire north side for the 3 lots. And I'm asking you, why do I have to landscape lot, at least, why would I have to do any landscaping to Lot 1 when it's been in existence for 60 to 70 years?
Point well taken.
Excuse me?
No, I
Point well taken.
Definitely.
You got it. All right.
I agree with you.
2 and 3,
It was,
and that's
I
it,
can't
you know?
understand it. He owned the restaurant in town for years.
Yeah, it-
So we take Lot 1 out on the north. So really, it's the north side of Lot 2, the north side of Lot 3, the south side of Lot 3, and the
The south
back.
side of Lot 3 goes up to the end of the common driveway. It doesn't go all the way back. Is that correct?
That's true.
Because
So that's not a,
the
that's,
common driveway ends where Lot 3 begins.
right, and that's why it's, see, the ZBA's decision doesn't affect that particular portion. So we just have to decide, not here. Yeah.
2, 3.
I think we would like to see, as a condition of the subdivision approval, some mitigation efforts or, conditions to that effect on at least those portions of Lot 2 and 3. Lot 1, okay, you got us on that one. But Lot 2 and 3? Because you're creating those 2 new lots. I think that would be reasonable.
And again, we're not asking you to put up 20-foot bushes.
Excuse me?
We're not asking you to put up 20-foot bushes.
I wouldn't even come in here with a 20-foot plan of that nature. Okay? I understand what you're looking for.
You're probably gonna put, they're gonna put up stockade fences, and you're gonna put up, they're gonna wanna put up some, like I said, green giants, probably not privets, because they don't work that well there.
Please, yeah, I'd rather not. I mean, just saying, I think in our letter we said green giants generally grow to about 20 foot. We don't expect you to put in 20-foot ones, Mr. Hagley. If they come in at 6 with that kind of light, they're going to grow. Everybody's going to be happy if you do that. Everybody's going to be happy here.
Put 5 to 7 footers and they'll grow.
Exactly.
But we're going to come in with a plan that's going to rip out what you have there.
I talked to Marios this morning, and he's understanding.
Huh?
I talked
That's-
to Marios this morning about that.
And if that's okay with you?
No, I don't want that stuff, Mr. Haefley, because what happened was when this stuff started, my mom was failing in health, and I panicked thinking that, okay, I'll keep this junk rather than nothing, because I didn't know I was going to be offered something more adequate. The stuff that is there is just bittersweet vines, honeysuckle vines, wild roses. What was there has been choked out. I have to, last 35 years, I have been cutting that stuff back off my driveway because the Morrises stopped cutting it. Marius does not cut it.
So the answer is,
It
they expect that to be
scrapes up the
removed.
cars so bad.
They expect that to be removed.
Well, that's fine. That wasn't the last time I heard it publicly, they wanted that to remain so that they could keep them. But I'm just saying, if we're going to come up with a plan It's going to be a plan that will show what is currently there is gone.
Okay. You understand that?
Yes.
It's gonna be
I don't-
removed.
I don't want it.
Okay.
Because it's a lot of maintenance.
That makes it easier.
I mean, let's say, if you come with a plan that shows green giants along the southern line of her lot, all the neighbours have met and discussed this together. We will be your friends if you put green giants along 7 footers, as Mr. Riley says here, on
5 to
the
7.
north south of the lot, and then on the north lot 2 and 3. Good, great, please. That's what everybody else does.
You want it on 2, where there hasn't been anything removed. Let me ask you a question.
It will be.
Huh?
It will be, they will be removed eventually, so it's gonna be a condition of the subdivision. At some point, somebody's gonna,
So if I have to put in, we're not talking about 3, there's an opening there, I understand with that. We're talking about 2. Nobody's come in to complain about lot 2 yet. That means we may have to remove trees to put in landscape. I don't know. I really have no clue. But if that's what you're asking, could I finish?
wait.
Could I,
Back and forth.
I just want to make sure that that's what you're talking about. If you're putting a landscape, you want a landscaping plan, I have to show you on planning A, B, C, and D, whatever that happens to be. And there may be existing vegetation that's in there that we're going to have to get rid of.
Members of the plan board, just to give you an idea of what's in there, there's a lot of old trees. You saw where it had been cleared. They're not up against the fence. So they're going to have to clear those lots completely. Once they're clocked, you're going to realise it's going to be completely open, there's going to be nothing there. So there'll be no screening whatsoever. So I don't believe when he comes up with, when you come up with the landscaping plan, there will not be any trees for you actually to remove, because all the trees in the centre you're going to remove anyway, and you'll then see the need for screening along lots 2 and 3. I think you will see that.
You're wrong, okay?
I-
They're asking for,
Wait, guys.
they're asking for a landscaping plan, and I'm gonna do for lot 2, 3 on the north side.
Right.
Lot 1 on the south side to the beginning of lot 3.
Right.
Is that correct?
That's exactly right.
That's fine, okay.
Wait, no, and the southerly portion, and lot 3 south.
Excuse me?
The lots, and lot 3 south, right?
No,
South-
lot 3, no, not, the south past.
Along the imaginary road
No,
there.
no, there's,
There's no road.
Lot 3, once the common driveway ends, it ends at Lot 3.
Right.
So Lot 3 has a width from there to its easterly boundary.
Right.
And that was not put in the zoning board application, and I'm saying I wasn't putting that in here. I was doing the landscaping along where the common driveway is.
Lots 1 and 2, south side.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Well, that's not what the chairman said.
I got
You
lost.
said the southerly side of...
I got lost 4 plans ago.
We're
I
here.
think, Dave, that you say we're doing all
And
around
we're here.
3?
I thought we were doing,
We're not going, he's not doing anything here, he's not doing anything here. He's doing 2 and 3, 1 and 2.
I like uniformity, it's just my bugaboo. I mean, why would we have posts across the back here? It's gonna carry it down.
Does that satisfy the issue?
Look, I mean, I think
2 and 3?
I'm not going to
And
be
one-
selfish amongst my neighbours. I mean, obviously the screening on lot 3 on the north side is important to me, okay? We are a team together. I know Gail would like to see it down all the way side. I hear what you say about lot 1, so I think, so north side, 2 and 3, we'll be happy with that. Marianne, I think, would like to see it all the way down 1, 2 and 3 on the south side, wouldn't you, Marianne?
Yes, because I gave you the survey of my property. It's pre-existing, non-conforming. I have a multi-residence. It shows a garage on Mr. Nevada's survey. That garage is my house. I live in the house. It's attached to the garage. The garage is attached to the house.
I mean, the same reason we would do the north side here is the same reason we would do it on the south side. They're building a house there, that is not there.
Okay, I
So
just want to
those-
make
is
sure
this
that we're all
effect-
on the same page.
What is behind all this, the infamous unnamed
Unnamed
buildings?
road, what's back there?
What's back there?
That is behind, my property runs 431 feet deep. It goes past this back lot. There's this road right behind Mr. Nicolaides is the road that goes, the paper road that goes around to all the flocks.
So
But
it's
what,
not paper and then
but what is
it's
physically there?
Just
Just
trees,
overgrown
brush,
stuff.
overgrown.
So there's nobody back there?
No, it's quite a nice buffer.
And one of the
towards that.
roads on the Southside Park subdivision that is unusual.
Right.
And the road coming in off of Hazelwood, and
This
it's all
is the,
part of it.
this is the subdivision.
There's no sense
No,
in
I
that.
appreciate, I'm just saying, do we bar, I just want to know if there's any reason to screen that back, or we just leave it alone?
Leave it
I
alone.
mean, I actually think, I don't think we would be overly concerned about that, because at the moment, there's already natural screening there.
Got it. All right, so south side of lot 3, north side of lot 3, north side of lot 2.
The what?
South-
What is on lot 3? What are you
Yeah.
talking about?
North and
North and
south,
south.
and north side of lot 2. Those are what we,
Oh, past.
past the
Past your
flag.
driveway ends.
So the entire, you're gonna have to do something the entire length
Could
of
you
the south
explain
side.
why, after we get past the
For the same
roadway
reason,
to-
for the same reason we're doing it on the
Excuse
north,
me?
for the same reason we're doing it on the north side. You're building on lot 3, which is gonna create a problem north and south
For the neighbors.
for the neighbors. It's a mitigation for the neighbors to the south. Nobody cares about the neighbors to the back because nobody's there.
It's an
There's
unknown
actually
road.
another.
I wouldn't even, I would not give you a site plan for adjacent to an unknown road.
Of course
There's
not.
nothing-
We're not asking for that.
We're not asking, but we're just saying so.
I'm just making sure you,
No, just saying so, because
I agree with you.
there was
Should be
thought
cautious.
about requiring something along the back where the unnamed road is, but there's nothing behind it that will be affected, so.
There's that paper road that goes to the subdivision. Then there's a 50-foot wide piece of land that I think Habitat for Humanity wanted to buy, and it was too small to build on. Then there's another paper road that runs, I don't know where it ends.
Okay, well, for our purposes, in terms of what we're giving Mr. Haefely direction, he's gonna comply with the ZBA decision, he's gonna provide us with the road plan and the landscaping associated with that. And we're also going to, require, if you will, that there be landscaping or mitigation on the south side of lot 3, the north side of lot 3, and the north side of lot 2. Not the north side of lot 1, because that's already there and it isn't creating a problem.
And not at the
not the west,
unnamed
and not
road.
and not the east side of lot 3.
Right.
Not the east side there,
Not
which
the
is
east
this
side of lot
unnamed
3.
road, which is
Right.
really- This unnamed road is just trees and it goes the whole
When,
length of Hazelwood
where
Avenue.
the ship is sailed on that one, we're not talking about it. So
you
just
go.
those 3 extra areas,
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
there you go, you got our direction.
Thank you.
Yes, yes, building inspector,
James, thank you.
hold on.
For the common driveway, because I apologize for not looking at this before, because we haven't talked about this inside the building, but the common driveway width has to be a minimum of 12 feet based on the fire code, so. That's fine. I just, so you don't come in with 10 feet and have to go.
With the common driveway all the way. All the way back.
Well, to the lot. The lot.
To the number 3 lot
Lot 3
line.
where it ends.
To where number 3 is.
Thank you, Dick.
You coming back next time?
It doesn't technically need a hammerhead or a turnaround because it's the distance is.
So
not-
the,
Yeah, but it's not gonna be 2 weeks from now.
okay.
You don't want to come back that soon, do you?
Can we make sure that we can actually see the plan beforehand, so we don't all...
The plans will be submitted to the board beforehand.
Okay.
You can come to the board and you can look at it,
Okay,
okay? I have no obligation to give them to you, and I'm not. I will give them to the board, and it goes from
Let's
there.
say this is unfortunate, because we've actually tried to engage you for several
All right,
years.
guys, enough.
You'll get a chance to
You'll
review.
get a chance.
So I'll just say we would like to review them before the meeting.
They are
make a motion, we hold the-
hold on, under our procedures, he is obligated to turn them into us 10 days before the
10
meeting.
days before, okay, thank you.
So when do you want to come back?
The 12th?
I appreciate it, guys. We all appreciate it.
June?
12th?
July? December of 2025?
23rd, I'll be retired by then.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah. Megan's very good, she'll send them to me.
You got the 12th or the 26th?
You come back in May, you want to go back further?
No, you have to, it's either the second, put it on for the second meeting in May,
Okay.
and maybe we'll get something by then.
I make a motion, we hold over the application until May 26th
Second.
in anticipation of a correct.
Unfortunately, I will be looking at tropical waves in that day, so I will miss you.
If you guys check in 9 days in advance, it should be there. But if it's not, then it's not gonna be
Well, I
on.
say,
Not gonna happen.
I say Megan here is normally very effective, I'm sure she'll see that.
Do we have a second on the motion?
The 19th, you said 26th?
26th.
Second on the motion?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Thank you. Enjoy your
Okay,
holiday.
Jordan, thank you
Take
very
care.
much.
Thank you.
Thanks for your service.
Thank you. All right.
Next application is 85 and 105 Montauk Highway, and it's requested to hold that over to April 28th.
I make a motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Okay, the next application is West Hampton Inn LLC, 43 Main Street, that's already held over till April 28th. Next application is number 4, Prime Storage, 98 Depot Road. The applicant requested to hold over to April 28th.
I make a motion?
Second. All in favor? Aye.
The next application is 55 Old Riverhead Road. The applicant requested to hold over to May 12th.
I make a motion?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
The next application is number 6, Firestar Holdings, 14 Rogers Avenue. I guess Dick wants to hold that over. Let's put that one to May 26th.
I make a motion?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
The next application is number 7, WHBH Real Estate, 7 Beach Lane. The applicant requested to hold that over to April 28th.
I make a motion?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
The next application, WHB Development Partners, 107 Old Riverhead Road. They've requested to hold over to April 28th.
Make a motion?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
The next application, Hampton Synagogue, 1315 Brook Road, Franklin, Florida.
Frank?
It was unavoidable, Frank.
Sorry, Frank.
It'll be brief.
How, you're so close to the finish line, you can see
We
it.
are almost there. We're almost there.
There's a lot happening over there.
Well, we're still at the Department of Health. However, we are really close. The wastewater management division has approved the flow that we've requested. We're trying to get some grandfather flow. That happened yesterday, so that's great. Bo Bishop is drafting up the covenant for that. And the Office of Pollution Control, the only thing we have left is just a couple of comments they had regarding the swimming pool. We had a sample test done yesterday. That's at a lab for the cesspools that are being removed. So I think we're knocking on the door.
So all the rabbi has to do is call in a couple of divine markers and you're gonna be able to.
So,
Real quick, just so the board knows, because I usually tell you that I neglected to tell you. We had a demo application come in this week and take down these buildings. The board has any issue with that?
We don't have to do anything with it, too.
those plastic houses, all they have to do is take them apart.
Yeah, well, I mean, the interesting thing is, Bo had said, I can't merge the lots, because that's one of the comments that they had. If the buildings are still there, so I need to take the buildings down, which is what Rabbi wants, because they're an eyesore and everything else. We needed an interpretation from the Department of Health. Can we take them down? We don't want to lose the flow. We got that interpretation at 4 o'clock today. So they said, you can take them down.
Nice.
All right, so that's where we are. So I just wanted to fill you in because
terrific.
you know, it's been a while.
So when realistically do you want to come back and see us?
Well-
Or do you just want to come back and let us know on the 28th we're that much closer?
You know, realistically, the next meeting, which is the 12th, I heard, because you seem to have a lot of activity happening.
You got a 28th, April 28th,
April 28th and then May
May 12th.
Yeah, I mean, John Condon still has a couple of comments to do on the swimming pool. I mean, I don't know that we can have it done by April 28th.
It's up to you. I don't want you to come back unnecessarily unless you really have a strong
Would you
desire.
mind if I tell you, hold it over till 28th, and then if we're not ready, we'll call,
Absolutely.
Yeah,
That's
you can
fine.
tag out, sure.
let's do
That's
that.
perfect.
Because if there's barring a miracle that he gets it done. I don't
I
think
think
it's
Brad needs a demo permit to be okay.
No, we don't need to.
We don't?
Tony?
No, it's
Oh,
not.
all right.
No, he usually just checks with you guys to see
Yeah,
if there's
okay,
any
I just-
issues, that's all.
yeah.
I make a motion, we hold over the applicant at his request until April 28th.
All in favor? Aye. Thank you, Stefano. Enjoy your
Great
holiday.
job, good application.
Yes. All right.
Found everybody.
Likewise.
Let's take it to the finish line, Megan.
Yeah. We should actually, yeah, we'll just keep going. Number 11, PGJG Holding Corp., Baby Moon, they've requested to hold over to April 28th.
Make a motion?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
The next, number 12, Westhampton Equity Group, they're already held over till April 28th. George Vickers, number 13, is already held over till May. We just have to circle back to the top. We have the outdoor dining for Dave's Bun and Burger. They have 3 tables and 6 chairs that are already there. They just put them on the sidewalk, and they wanted to come back. They just wanted to renew that.
So we're giving the trustees a no objection?
We got no issues with them, right?
They did this for the COVID season,
Right.
but that's going away maybe, so.
No, normally we just, if they come back year on year, we just say, well, any problems last year? None. And there's no music, it's just eating. All right? I think we said,
Make a motion, we close?
Second.
all in favor? Aye. Thank you all.